WanderingWinder here, watching a game of Dominion between two of the highest rated players on the ladder, nasmith99 and RTT. Cathedral looks to be the best thinning probably, although there's Masquerade, which might make you think twice about it, I suppose. I don't think Masquerade really counters Cathedral so much, it's just that it's also a high tempo trasher. Hostelry, Ferry, Grand Market. There isn't much draw. There's mostly just the Masquerade. Pretty much exactly just the Masquerade. And horses from Hostelry is not really netting draw. Uh, Unless you're overdrawing, and then it can bank up some for later. But I would expect that because the draw is fairly thin, that this is going to be a lot about getting a lot of grand markets, and you'll probably want to ferry them at some point for that. But what that point is not exactly clear, because you don't want to do it too fast because it just doesn't do anything for you immediately. Gets a Masquerade. I think this makes a lot of sense because you still want to draw. Here I would get a silver though. Wow. Uh, that seems like too early to ferry Grand Market to me. Simply because you're still not anywhere near being able to buy it. I guess the plan might be to get a death cart. It's the only way that this makes sense to me. Otherwise, you could just ferry later. Or I guess the other way would be you think you're going to hit 5. Because if you hit 5, maybe you get a Sacred Grove now, and you just keep getting things that cost more than silver. But I don't think so. I think you're going to need to get a silver. Gets a Band of Misfits, which can be played as Death Cart or Snowy Village. See, I think I'd continue to trash with these Masquerades, even though I have Cathedral. I'm not worried about running out of gains in this game. Getting a lot of Band of Misfits. Interesting. Okay, so notably, Band of Misfits playing Death Cart has to trash an action from your hand in order to get money. I guess these Band of Misfits are just like, I would say they're better than getting Hostelry, but I don't actually think that's true. Because, like, the Hostelry for 5, you can spend 4 to get the Hostelry and you get a horse. Oh, Band of Misfits as Grand Market. That's what I've missed. Okay, yeah, everything I've said, just ignore that. It's complete stupidity. Um, yeah, okay. Okay, that's interesting. It does kind of fall off potentially if the Grand Markets run, but I guess they're just saying they're not going to. I wonder if that's what you're going for, if you ferry a bunch of ferry bands first and then move it later, if that might be better, but a little hard to say. Could be thinking about playing Hostelry here. I think it doesn't make a lot of sense because you're going to get 2 Band of Misfits plays either way, and this way, playing it as Grand Market first, you at least get the chance to have yeah, so I've totally missed the biggest thing on this board, which, they've both correctly identified. Not too surprising given the caliber of these players. Um, yeah, but I guess what I was saying there is, right, uh, you get the chance to draw the last Band of Misfits and get to play them all as Grand Markets. But if you play a Village, you're just going to play the last one as a Grand Market. You're not really getting ahead. I guess you could play the last one as... No, it would have to be a Grand Market still, so yeah. Um, there, I'm not sure you wanted to play that Masquerade. If you knew that the last card of your deck was indeed another Band of Misfits, this could be. I mean, I think this is going to be double Band of Misfits. The question is, at what point do you start buying other garbage? But I don't think the point is yet, because you still have 4 garbage cards to trash to your Cathedral. You don't need to add more. Maybe in a couple turns, you start picking up like a copper or something of that nature, but interesting. Took Sky's Gift and is now going after Grand Markets. Um, yeah, I guess if RTT is going to win this, it probably has to be on the back of. You may as well play this Masquerade here because maybe RTT has to pass you something good. Um, it may as well be on the back of, or it's probably going to be on the back of, rather, the Grand Market pile running out in that Wrecking Nasmith's deck. I don't think that's going to be able to happen fast enough, especially because you can just start saying, I'm going to salvage Band of Misfits Salvager, Band of Misfits is Villages. You could slap your fairy token on Sacred Grove and Band of Misfits as groves as well as villages, and you're not losing that much. Um, yeah, 1 copper there makes sense, I think. I think you probably want to start greening relatively soon. River's Gift is nice. Interesting. I wouldn't think you'd play the copper, and you're going back on that. Sure, sure. So now you just get 3 Grand Markets. Yeah, I think this makes sense. I guess we also have to start looking at potential for pile outs. Because the Grand Market pile is low, and the ruins can run relatively quickly because you have a lot of extra buys, plus there's Death Card. So I would wonder, and I would stop before playing the last Band of Misfits, but I'd probably just go ahead and play this one as Grand Market. But before the last one, I might play a Death Card and trash. This is 10 buys, 11 buys maybe, or 10 buys and more money. This is probably winning. Let's check. This is getting the rest of the Grand Markets cost 16. Getting the ruins is going to cost. You need how many buys, right? 4 buys are on this. You're going to have. You play one of these as a Grand Market. You're going to have 10 buys. You're going to need 6 buys. You can have 5 buys for ruins and Death Card. So you're going to need to get 3 Death Cards. That's 12, 16, 28, 18, 20, 25. You need 30 money and you don't have it. So, given that that's the case, you probably want to score here. I could see something like Province, Province. I could even see a Death Card at the moment. Maybe you can get away with 1 Province. A little concerned because RTT is very likely to empty the Grand Market. So I guess that's something you need to play around because if RTT empties the Grand Markets, you have 9 Band of Misfits in your deck, which can be Hostelries, Death Cards, Masquerades, a Snowy Village, Oases. So if you get 1, you could also move your fairy token, potentially. RTT, for his part, basically needs to draw a village quite quickly here, but I mean, the rest of his deck is what, 4 more Grand Markets, a Band of Misfits, and a Snowy Village, and like 1 other card, so. Okay, so now you've moved it to Grove, and you're gonna buy a Hostelry or a Death Cart, maybe. Okay. So you've thought better of this. RTT's problem is that you don't, as he doesn't have as many. I might think about getting a Ruin Market here. I think I probably would. And I don't know if I would get, or how many other ruins I would get, but like it's nice to be able to have the ability to trash or to try to pile out on ruins. You didn't move your ferry, so I mean I think you have a I don't know. It's all very difficult here. I don't really understand why RTT did not play the last Grand Market here. There was a bad card on top, maybe? I don't. It's very hard to try to follow both of them in time, I guess, is the thing. Hostelry, of course, makes sense there, and here I would think you'd go Masquerade. And RTT is going to pass you. Wow, passes you Snowy over the Masquerade of his own. That surprises me. I would think you would rather want the Snowy. Well, what do you do now is Nasmith. I mean, at any point you have to think about salvager, salvager, and can I empty these ruins? So it takes 4 buys and 16 money to do so. So you're almost there because you can salvage Province, and that gets you to 10. You can salvage Masquerade, that doesn't get you quite high enough. Okay, so now if you play Snowy, you can salvage Province, salvage Band of Misfits. That gets you to exactly enough money, so this should be a win now. You play Snowy Village, you Band of Misfits Salvager, trashing Province, you Band of Misfits Salvager, trashing Band of Misfits, and you buy 4 death cards and you win the game. Given that you drew the Province, you could trash that also, but yep. And I don't know how much of that was first player versus getting the band Grand Market stuff up a little bit faster. Those things are related to each other, but yeah, I guess they're going to play another one, so I'm going to watch another one here. We'll make this a multi-ladder commentary, whatever, however you want to call it, video. We've got Seize the Day, Hermit, Urchin, Scrying Pool. It could be Hermit Potion. Yeah. Could also try to go for Urchin Urchin. Lighthouse will defend you a bit and works well with the Scrying Pool. I pretty well believe in Scrying Pool playing here. Also, Silos is a very plausible open here. So you've got some choices. Looks like they're both going for Hermit, which is my gut as well. Now, do you go for Silos or Potion? It's not clear. RTT could be in big trouble here if this Overgrown Estate trash draws him the Necropolis. Exactly. Would be disaster. Naismith goes for Ironmonger. Interesting. I think that would have been like my 3rd choice. And I think Warehouse versus Urchin. I don't know. This makes some sense. I'd probably buy Silos here if I'm RTT. I mean, you kind of want to do that on a turn where you're getting a madman out of it, but... And are you going to trash the Overgrown Estate, or are you going to leave that extra card for later because it's not getting you much now? I would have been inclined to leave it for later, I think. But it's not 100% clear. I think I would have trashed Hovel there. Because drawing the copper doesn't get me much now. Especially given that I have silos. Yeah, I really think I like trashing Hovel over Overgrown Estate here. But it is admittedly a small thing. Kind of surprised you'd get a lighthouse. Yeah, warehouse or urchin seem to make more sense to me. Stables, also a little bit surprising to me. Less surprising so. I think I would have wanted a spices, mostly because plus buy seems pretty good to me here. But I can see the stables, right? Just drawing more, better, faster is also good. You're going to discard Hovel, Necropolis, and Copper, I imagine, here, because these last cards should be able to get you to another copper. You want to put this on top because I think both of them are coppers, and you want to start your hand with coppers in it so that you can silos past them. That's one of the small, kind of not so easy to understand, perhaps, things about how silos works is that you want, with silos, you want coppers in your opening hand because then you silos past them and then they're effectively not in your opening hand. They're on the bottom of your deck, which is exactly where you want coppers to be generally. Okay. So, yeah, Naismith here, I think I'd be inclined to go Urchin Spices, probably. You're going Silver Spices. Really? Huh. I mean, I think the discard attack is not nothing. I really believe in Pool here, though. It could just draw you so much. You are going to need a Spices at some point, but... I think I'd discard the Hermit? Yeah. Taking a Mercenary. Interesting, interesting. I guess that is a way to trash your... And RTT wants another Pool? No, he wants to get the Spices here. I don't think I would trash anything here. At this point, I want the Necropolis. So another Urchin makes sense. It helps you draw better. At some point, you're going to switch, I think, to getting Candlestick Makers, but I think you want to have more pools before you do that. Candlestick Makers and or Lighthouses. But Lighthouses would be more... they are a little bit better money makers than Candlestick Makers, but... Okay, Warehouse next. Discard the coppers? Okay, so you have drawn this, which is exactly what you need to see if you're RTT. And you should be pretty golden here. Play this Mercenary, play Necropolis. Or play Necropolis, play the Mercenary, rather. And you'll be able to get Scrying Pool and... I'm not sure what you get with it here. Yeah, Lighthouse off this makes a lot of sense. I think you're going to be set for buys for a little bit. Goes for the Ironmonger. That makes quite a bit of sense as well. I think RTT is in great shape here. I'd probably want to pick up another buy if I'm RTT on maybe exactly this turn. Get the Candlestick Maker or another Spices. But yeah, I think RTT is just going to be drawing so much better. This is a pretty sad state of affairs for Naismith here. Let's see if you want to gain two things or you're going to take the Madman. I think I'd take the Madman, but you want Lighthouses. No, you're just not taking your Hermit back. Okay, that makes some sense as well. I guess if you're not playing from the pool side, it makes a fair amount of sense. Ironmonger next. It's going to make you a money. It's definitely going to hit. Okay. Interesting. Oh, I guess you just have all the deck control in the world. Yeah, so this is going to be pool and could be like Lighthouse Ironmonger. I might even want just like more buys all the time. I don't know. Maybe you could just get that off more hermits. At some point, this warehouse isn't going to be very good anymore. Your deck's going to be quite thin. So you might trash it to your mercenary. But I think the world is your oyster slash burrito slash, whatever you want to call it there. It's good for you. We'll put it that way. Is this the hand you want a madman? Apparently it is. Okay. You're going to play Lighthouse. You're going to have quite a bit of money and a decent number of buys here. Well, not actually that many buys. I might go Spices Stables here if I'm Naismith. You want to have a lot of stables so that you can consistently get your Lighthouse protection going. You're not going to have the Madman later as well. But I think I want more buys if I'm Naismith. I mean, his deck is not bad. I just think the RTT is going to be able to ramp up more effectively. So I would expect Spices Stables here, I think. I'm not in a rush as either of them to seize the day yet. 4 and a buy right now is a bigger cost than it will be later. And it's not like the game's ending. Whoa, double Spices. I don't like that because I don't think you're drawing enough to support that. RTT, on the other hand, is drawing the world. Probably play Warehouse now because you want your... Okay, you could play Urchin now. Oh, you've already played your Ironmonger. What am I saying? Okay. Forget all that. This I'm not sure about. This has worked out wonderfully. Okay. I'm surprised. Maybe they're just... It's very possible RTT just calculates this business faster than me. You don't want to trash the coppers there. Maybe you're saying later on I might be able to attack you and I want the ability to do that. I don't know. I mean, are you going to buy coppers back? Kind of doubt it. Getting all the candlestick makers, that might be a bit much. Because you still need to make sure you find a pool. You do have 5, but I really wouldn't like to lose a turn to that. I guess you are closing in if you're RTT on pileouts, maybe? Yeah, this is what I was worried about for Naismith. If one of these spices was a stables, you'd be in real good shape, I think, while you're seizing the day. Oh, it makes a lot of sense to seize the day to make sure that you get your... yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Make sure you get your lighthouse protection up. But if I were Naismith, I would have wanted more. So you discard one of these lighthouses and I guess the coppers. And are you just going to buy province or are you going to go like stables and something? I would think you'd want more stables still. Stable spices, that makes sense to me. Yeah. So Naismith's deck is actually quite fine. I think RTT's deck is like quite better, but you gain a silver here to maximize your money this turn. That way your Ironmonger will hit it. Yep. And you can draw it like so. Candlestick maker, candlestick maker. You can merc if you want to. You're trashing 2 coppers. Sure. That makes little difference, I think. Don't really see a reason to... Okay, seize the day yet is what I was going to say. I am not sure I'm in love with that play. I think you can be building your econ faster than this. I think you can be building to more faster than this. And your problem if you're Naismith is you're going to be single provincing resignation makes sense. RTT's deck is just so much bigger, and he has the seize the day turn on tap. Let's see if they play another one. They are. I think this is going to be the last one I have to cover, regardless of whether they play more after it or not, unless it goes super fast. But I have some other things I have to do. You can see they're both over 66 right now. And I think this is, like a couple weeks old, and they may have both increased their rating since the point that those 66s are from. Okay, Hamlet remake, got 5. I would really want Seer, I think. Maybe that's insane. You just take the remake anyway. I could see it being insane. Displace doesn't look so impressive here. You could also take a Den, I guess. What does Den do for you next turn? You're going to have a lot of cards. Okay. Hamlet here. You're hoping to draw copper so you can buy your remake now. Yeah, absolutely. And taking silvers makes a lot of sense. So a little surprised at Sana. I would have thought that I would have gone for another remake, I think. And I'm really surprised at Den there. I would have really thought Seer. Your deck is so much in the Seer range that I really would have thought I would have gone for that. We'll see if you do that here. Yeah, you go for Seer now. Having 1 Den per turn to give you a little bit of reliability does make a fair amount of sense. Exploration there is fine, I guess. There isn't much draw here. There's Dens and, well, there's Seers. There's a fair amount. And there's buys from Hamlet. Yeah, I kind of think your eventual deck here is what? Get a lot of Seers. Well, basically that. Get a lot of Seers. Surprised you didn't discard for buy here. Looks like you want a platinum. Oh, you're overpaying for Seers. That makes sense as well. And having a stonemason doesn't hurt so much. Okay. RTT going to continue to trash coppers here, but not... Okay. But wants to keep the remake. Okay. We'll see if the idea is to remake the stonemason the remake, or just displace some stuff. Surely you want to... Okay, you're stonemasoning the remake and then you're going to draw it up. Gotcha. I kind of want another silver here. Just getting 2 Hamlets. This also makes some sense. You're going to get a buy here, I assume. Or you're going to try to displace and gain in play? No. What? You did take a buy, and then you're displacing the Hamlet. But if you wanted to displace the Hamlet, why didn't you get a silver instead of the Hamlet? I mean, you lowered the Hamlets, I guess, but... Oh, well, yeah, you can... What am I saying? It's displaced, so it's an exile. You can get the Hamlet back later. Forget everything I just said. Yeah, on the other hand, this is not a great turn for RTT coming up. 2 coppers on top. Well, you're going to play Hamlet here. I assume. I don't see much reason not to. Surely you would rather trash the copper than the hamlet. Yeah. Now it's just a question of what you discard for. Could be action, could be both action and buy, could be. I guess you're always taking the buy there, probably. And you buy 2 seers here? I'm not super impressed by displace on this board, I don't think. Okay. This is fine, I suppose. I'd be a little bit worried about piles lowering, especially if I'm Naismith. Oh, of course RTT had the den, so that was unlikely. That's not what you want to discard with that hamlet there. You want to discard a silver, so that your seer can draw it. Okay. Again, pretty sure you'd rather discard the silver there. You're displacing stonemason. Okay, this doesn't look like you're trying to win immediately, which maybe you couldn't. I think you discard again there, and then play the hamlet in an attempt to top deck the seer, right? That's a small optimization, but I'm pretty sure is worth it. Because if you draw the seer, then you just get back to where you are right now exactly. But if you don't draw the seer, then you have a seer top decked for this turn. So that's a minor. And wow, this is enough to resign. I mean, I guess it looks like RTT is going to be able to pile out on their next turn, but it's possible RTT does, so I don't think I would resign. That is going to be the end of the video. So hopefully an interesting few games there. Thanks for watching, everyone.